Hi, I'm Kathy with Tax Magic Podcast. Welcome today. This happens every day. Here's your reality shock. And the most dangerous threat to your business isn't the IRS. It isn't a lawsuit. It isn't a bad employee. It isn't a bad year. It's when your bank decides you're too risky and quietly shuts you down overnight. Welcome to the podcast today. I have the most distinct privilege, so to speak, of having CoachDeb of AI Chillify back with us. Yay!
Yay!
We have decided on a name, AI Chillify. We've decided on a state, Wyoming. We have gotten the Articles of Organization and another company. We've done, we did the Articles of Organization for one and Articles of Incorporation for the other.
Mm-hmm.
We've got EINs for both.
Yep.
Now it's time to go to the bank. And I heard there was a little snafu at the bank. So, Deb, what happened at the bank?
So the bank was interesting because just when you think everything is fine, all of a sudden, bam, I get an email that says, oh, no, you don't have a bank account unless you bring X, Y, and Z. So I was at the bank. They were asking me all sorts of questions. And it was very interesting because, again, this is an AI agent company that we're kicking off. And they're like, okay, what about your employees? I'm like, 0 employees. They will all be AI agents working for us.
You don't pay them. You don't pay agents. You don't pay them.
Yeah, exactly. I think their minds were a little blown and a little wide-eyed because they're like, whoa, this is the future. So they just asked a bunch of different questions about like transactions, how is business done? And it's all in the cloud. It's all digital. It's all robots. And then the big thing came to a physical address. And I'm like, but I don't get mail there because no one will be opening mail. There's no traditional receptionist. Again, AI agents. So we do have an address there, and they opened the bank account. And I was like, oh, I thought it was all set. And then 2 days later, I get this email that says, nope, you need to send a physical address because they're not accepting this registered agent anymore. So apparently they used to accept registered agents. This is a normal way. We all set up companies in the past. Now, nope, nada. So they want physical address. Otherwise, they threatened to shut the account down, which, about a year or two ago with my other company, all of a sudden I was traveling as I do. And all of a sudden I open my email, which I don't always, especially when I'm traveling, doing speaking events. And I happen to check this one email account that my bank was associated with. And they literally said they had shut a bank account down and sent me a certified check to this address that I, wasn't where I currently was. And I'm like, I'm not going to be there for a while. So there was this $40,000 check of this one account floating until I got back home to open it. And then they were threatening to close 3 other accounts. And I was still in my PJs. I had my glasses on. I threw my eyeballs in, which is my contacts, grabbed my laptop and literally ran to the bank in Las Vegas to be like, do not shut these down. Here's the documentation we need. So Kathy, tell us about some of the things that have changed with the laws because it has never happened before. And then they were threatening to shut down this new company that they just created. I'm like, I don't understand why I'm at the bank. You're saying it's okay. And then all of a sudden, no, that's not okay. So what's happened and how can we prevent other people from going through the trauma that I had to go through with both of these businesses?
Well, this trauma we can solve.
Okay, good.
But the main reason they're doing it is a registered agent is primarily to receive a lawsuit if you are served. A process server, that's really all a registered agent is supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that thing that happened back in 9/11 when they blew that building up?
Yeah. Yep.
That's what started it.
Got it.
Because it was money laundering.
Mm-hmm.
They said, oh, no. We're not going to do this. You have to be an individual. You have to have an address. You have to have it on a utility bill or a phone bill. You have got to show that you're real. It came with a know your client law. What it was called back in the day. And if they knew you, Most of the time you were okay. They made you change the address. And this is where you get a phone bill and you put either a home address, your accountant, a lawyer, or someplace that is not listed as a registered agent, or a PMB, a postal mailbox. You know, those
Yes.
mailboxes. You can't use those either most of the time.
That's what I learned with the one that they shut down. Even though it was a physical address, it was a PMB, it was a suite. And they literally, by the way, when I was at the bank, they literally like go to Google Maps to look at the place in Wyoming to make sure it was like a physical place.
Yep.
So that was interesting.
Funny. It's funny because there's a place here over on 22nd South or 22nd Avenue South that there's an empty lot and there's a mailbox right in the middle of this empty lot. And I go, wow, it's a community mailbox.
Wow.
But
so you just need to build a little tree house or something so that Google Maps sees someone lives there. I don't know.
Something. But no, there's just a white mailbox.
So what do we do?
I try and go.
Not okay. Yeah. So that's basically what the banks are against because of money laundering. So what do we do as legitimate entrepreneurs and business owners with companies everywhere? What do we do? And
you educate your banker. You educate your banker.
Okay.
And then your banker can advocate for you. Not a lot of them do. But you educate them and they educate their compliance office. And you can usually appeal when it's something like, but it's my address, I'm not all the time.
Right.
Or in California, they have a questionnaire that if they think you're doing business in California, they'll send it and say, this address came up on, especially with Nevada companies, because they went heavy and hard.
Yeah.
Because they thought everybody was cheating.
Right.
Not everybody is.
Right.
There are some, but not everybody.
Yep.
What happens is they send the questionnaire. I believe it's called the Nexus questionnaire. What happens is they ask, did you make any sales calls from California? Did you meet any clients in California? Do you maintain an office in California? Things that would give you Nexus in California. If you haven't and you answer no to all their questions, then you don't have Nexus. They can't tax you. You have a California address because an officer, a director, or an owner can have an address of a entity in another state or an entity that is formed in another state. Let me put it that way.
Right.
If I'm living in Florida, but I genuinely have a business in Oklahoma, I can have all the mail in California or Florida or wherever I am. It doesn't mean that business is doing business there.
Got it. Right. Like AI employees, they're going to be internet based. There's no sales calls. Everything's online. AI agents are doing this in the cloud. Yeah. Okay. Well, and I think so, Kathy, I didn't mean to cut you off, but like what's exciting about this is I think there are a lot of companies that will be not having such a payroll, so many physical employees, insurance, all of that cost. They're going to have AI agents, and they will have companies that will basically be in the cloud, which you're excited about because that helps them save on taxes, save on payroll, save on all sorts of things. So we're living in a very uncharted territory here with all of these AI agents and AI companies that are going to serve other companies, almost like a virtual, consulting type of thing. So this is information that people need to know when they're setting up new companies that are hosting their AI employees, basically, agents. Yeah. Robots.
I've argued that where is your server? Where's your server?
Yeah.
Well, if it's not in the United States, then you get to pick the state you're going to be taxed in because it's not physically located.
Yeah.
Now, if you go one step further, when I moved from California to Florida, as a CPA, California tried to tax me because I had a license in California. And I argued for a year that I don't go to California to work. I have a desk in Florida and I sit there and do the taxes. It took me a year to win, but I did win.
Mm-hmm.
That's just something that they're going to have to get used to, and they're going to have to adjust. But
Mm-hmm.
it may take a lawsuit
Mm.
by somebody who's really aggressive going, F you people, I'm not doing it.
Yep. Yep.
But again, it's education. It's finding an address that they will accept. Now, the idea of a AT&T phone bill.
Mm.
You can have your address in California on that AT&T phone bill, even though it's a Wyoming company, and the mail never gets mailed to you.
Mm-hmm. So the
So
hack, so that your hack is basically your T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon phone, and that's the physical address that you have in the state of the business.
correct.
It's the
It's
phone
your
bill.
phone.
That's kind of the
It's the
hack,
phone bill.
basically. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll
Okay.
accept the phone bill.
Yeah.
That's why you do the phone bill.
Okay.
And I don't get mine mailed to me, and most people don't.
Yeah.
So it can have whatever address you need it
Right.
to have. And it's not being deceitful, or it's
Right.
not being illegal. You're doing nothing illegal.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And it doesn't mean just because you have an address in your home in California that you're going to be taxed in California.
Mm.
It's not automatic.
Okay. Because you
So,
can also have homes in a variety of different states, right? Like you have homes
correct.
over here in Florida, home in Vegas, home in California, home in New Jersey. So it's a matter of where you're residing, where you're basically doing business, from what I understand with you. It's like, where's the employee? Where are you? Are you doing sales calls in this specific
Right.
spot? That's where the tax is associated, essentially.
Right. It's called
Okay.
Nexus.
Nexus. Yep.
And probably 15 or 20 years ago, eBay, when everybody was selling on eBay
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and Amazon, both
Yeah.
were hot on collecting sales tax wherever your Nexus was.
Right. Right.
And because people weren't paying sales tax, they were
Yeah.
collecting it and they weren't paying it.
Yeah.
And it was just a nightmare
Yeah.
because some people sold in 50 states. Well,
Yeah.
where am I going to collect sales tax at? Not all of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
But it was a big deal, I don't know, 15 years ago or so.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's been ironed out now. Now on your tax return, there's a little box that said, did you buy anything outside the state that you would owe sales tax on?
Hmm.
Check yes or no, signed
Mm.
George Strait. The answer is no, I didn't. And if I did, I don't know I did it.
You know, it's funny because years ago, I don't know, this is 10, 15 years ago, like back when iPhones first came out, I was living in Hawaii at the time, but I think the phone, the
20.
phone, it dropped when I was at a Vegas event in the toilet because I forgot it was in my back pocket, and rice does not help. Rice does not help, people. It's done. Your phone is dead. Now,
Done.
nowadays, we've got waterproofing and everything. Back then, it didn't.
Yeah.
So, and then my next trip was Texas, and I went to go buy a phone, and it was like the exact same phone that I bought 3 months before. It was insane. It was one of those like, oh no, it was new. And it was, I think, $150 cheaper because there was no sales tax, or the tax was cheaper in Texas. That made me go, whoa, I should buy all my electronics in Texas. But that was a big aha, that Hawaii and California, everything you buy, that's why it's so much more expensive, is just more taxes. So
Right.
that's an interesting thing too. Just, when you're traveling, what do you buy?
Yeah.
It's like when you go on cruises and you come back and they're like, well, what'd you buy that you've got to pay taxes on when you
I
come
don't
back?
know. I
Take
don't
the
have any
tags off.
idea. I bought a hat.
I remember when people
a
did
prop.
this with cohibas. They would go to another place, buy cohibas, and they take the bands off and they would put
Right.
different ones on, and they're like, wink, wink. No, they're not cohibas. But if people came
No.
in with the label, there
Oh, they're
were
gone. They
screws.
confiscated them.
Yeah. Yeah. And then smoked them.
Yeah,
We know
quick.
what happened.
Exactly. It comes down to it's a game. And
Yeah.
how do you play it
Yeah.
and still stay within the law and not go to jail?
Right. Right. And that's why you're
I
our
mean,
tax coach. So I'm excited for our next podcast.
Yep.
But just a real quick for people who have been listening to this series and the podcast, we're actually going into the Tax Magic Collective right after we get off here, where I get to ask you more in-depth questions, more personal questions that I don't want all on the public airwaves. So how can people join and get questions answered by you without paying your expensive one-on-one fee?
My
Tell us about
$850 an hour. But it saves them. I mean,
Yeah,
they pay $50 an hour. They're probably going to save
that's
4 or
right.
5,000 on their
That's
taxes.
right.
So,
You are well worth the $1,000 per hour consulting, but you've got the
Yeah.
Tax Magic Collective that's a
which
lot
is
less.
better. Way
Yes.
better. It's you join as a champion, and it's right now we're going to run an $1,800 special that won't last long. But you
Okay.
get some swag with a baseball bat or whatever, and a Yeti or whatever.
You've got fun
But
swag. Fun
they're
swag.
fun.
Fun swag. I have
Right.
the other Yeti there. You're the queen of Yetis. There's
Yes.
your Yeti. So the
Yeah.
taxmagiccollective.com is where they go to get this deal right now.
Across the screen. Yes.
Yep.
Join. And the thing is, you're gonna learn so much. Yeah.
There we go. Join. Join now.
And
Yeah.
it's not one-on-one or a one and done.
Yep.
It's not one-on-one because my voice won't take it anymore.
Yes.
But I
Yes.
love educating people and telling them, because the more you know, the less you owe. And
Yes.
that's my trademark. So don't use it unless you want to pay me.
The more you owe, the less you owe. I'm trying to find
So it's
this
the more
lower third as your client and then / producer. But yeah, I'm excited to go into the collective with you. Thanks for
Join us.
creating it. Thanks for creating it so that the group of us can get I can't tell you how many people I've referred over, and they are so grateful to me that I've referred them over to you, because you have saved them literally thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands. I could be here all day with how much you've saved them. So thank you, because truly the more you know, the less you owe, evidenced by
it's
several
legal.
of my clients I've
It's
sent you. And
legal,
yes,
legal.
all
And that's
legal.
the
They're
thing
very
with it. You can't legal.
they're beyond grateful to you, Kathy.
Yes.
Beyond grateful.
Well,
So
I
thank
love
you.
it. So thank you.
I will see you in the collective, and then I'll see you listening in the collective as well. Again, go to
Join.
Tax Magic. Let's make sure we get that up here.
Yep,
Tax. There we
is.
go. Just go to taxmagiccollective.com. Check out what she's created for you. And this saves on Kathy's vocal cords, but gets us all the coaching that we need. So I will see you in the next episode, Kathy, and then in the
Thank you.
collective right now.
We'll finish.
Mwah. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
This content is for educational and entertainment purposes only and does not constitute professional advice of any kind. Always consult with your tax professional. Be sure to read this full disclosure. Listener discretion is advised.